Good morning, dear ones, and happy Thursday. I hope you enjoyed St. Patrick's Day yesterday and held a little shamrock or drank a little glass of Guinness just to celebrate it across the world. And if you didn't, that's also okay. So today I'd just like to recap on what we know already. We are creating at this stage a good foundation of understanding of how the energy in the universe works and how that energy then translates to us. And when we understand the energy of the universe and the 12 laws, we're then able to take those 12 laws, understand how the energy flows and moves around us, within us, and through us. And in understanding that, we're able to then take that knowledge and that energy, apply it to what we know and we believe, and then already changing what is true for us. And when we understand the energy of the universe, we're going to start the chakras next week. We're going to look at how the energy from the universe flows within us, without us, through everything. And we're going to understand how the chakras work as well, that they are energy centers within our body and also move in circular motions. Once again, we bring it all back to the universal truths. And when we look at those things and understand how the creation of our chakras, or can I say as we develop ourselves and our human beingness, we also develop our chakras, and normally it's within 7 years for each chakra. But we're going to go into that next week, and we're going to look at how the traumas and abuses that we have suffered throughout our lives, or if we've got balanced chakras and we are showing the balanced characteristics of those chakras, we're then able to understand where we need to fine-tune the choir that is the energy that is within our bodies, without our bodies, and how we interact with that, and how it flows in us and how it flows without us. So up until now, we've learned about the 12 universal laws and how they relate to our bodies and our minds and our spirits. So at the moment, we are looking at the one aspect, and we're going to pull that knowledge in, and we're going to understand how that knowledge then translates and interacts with the knowledge of our chakras and our body. We understand from this information that we're all one, and one with everything. We know that the earth and our bodies vibrate at a certain frequency, and that this frequency has increased hugely over the last 30 years. So we're talking about the Schumann resonance here. This helps us to understand that our own frequencies have also increased, and that our understanding of ourselves, the earth, and the universe is also increasing in accordance with the earth's frequency increase. We also understand that the movement of energy is circular, as is everything in our universe, and the energy we send out is that energy that we then attract back to us. We know that the right action will bring about the right results, and similarly, the wrong action will bring about the wrong results. We also understand that it is not karma that punishes or rewards us, but ourselves, and we do that with the energy that we send out, and that is the law of cause and effect of equilibrium. Water will always find its own level. We also know that for each and every decision, there are going to be consequences. And consequences, the word itself always elicits a little bit of there's going to be consequences. But consequences can be good too. And when we are faced with a duality, the one we wish to win, that is for our highest and greatest good, is the one that we feed. So we need to examine what we're feeding at the moment that is not for our highest and greatest good. We know that what we believe to be true is true for us, and that we are compensated for our thoughts by the energies we attract, based on the quality image that we have in our mind. We also know that the energy we send out in thought is in motion, and all energy in motion will eventually appear in the physical form. We understand the law of rhythm and cycles, and we know that you cannot jump a cycle. We need to allow things to flow as they're supposed to flow. We know that in each and every one of us, as in all of the universe, we have both masculine and feminine energy. So that is a little bit of a recap of the universal laws themselves. And as I say, we're going to go into the chakras next week, and we're going to understand how the choir that is our chakra system, how it can all sing and be in tune with each other, instead of being off even by half a note, half a tone, will actually offset everything else, and it's going to sound like a cat's choir as opposed to a beautiful award-winning choir. So we also understand that the energy we send out is the energy we receive. And because of what we've learned, we understand that whatever we think and believe is true for us. A study was done on a class of primary school children years ago, where a test was given to the class, and afterwards the class was split down the middle according to their results. So the two groups were then separated for a week. So you've got sort of like, from 50%, half, to the top achievers, and the same downwards. And during this week, the top half of the class, let us call them the smart half, were told repeatedly how stupid, dumb, worthless, and incapable they were. While the bottom half of the class, let's call them the dumb half, were told how intelligent, special, clever, and capable they were. And after a week of this type of reinforcement, constantly, over and over again, for an entire 5 working days, the class was once again brought together and given another test of equal difficulty as the first. And this time, the dumb half of the class scored way above the smart half of the class. And the test results were directly opposite of the first test. So what does this tell us? This says every thought that we think creates who we are, how we believe, our experiences, our emotions, and therefore our future. And from what we have learnt about the 12 universal laws, it is scientifically confirmed. So why do we create the situations we find ourselves in? Why do we give our power away to others and believe what they tell us to be true, instead of finding out for ourselves and believing and keeping our own faith? Why do we let people talk a hole into our heads? Why do we allow other people's speech to constantly influence how we believe, what we feel about ourselves specifically? Now, of course, if you're listening to the radio and you're understanding that people are giving you news broadcasts, etc., we've now got the issue that Mr. Donald Trump has brought up of fake news. And how do we deal with that? Find out for yourself. Even Buddha said, ask and question. Even question every single thing I say. And when you're questioning that, it means you are inquiring, you have an inquisitive mind, and you're going to find out for yourself, so that what you believe is true for you, and that you can be unwavering in your thoughts and beliefs. Of course, you can amend as you go along, because belief systems, unlike traditional religion, belief systems are allowed to change and evolve as you gather and gain more information. And that is where frequency is then heightened, just like the Earth's frequency. So if you look at the greater consciousness of the Earth, perhaps the Earth wasn't vibrating at such a high frequency way back when, because people weren't inquiring enough. They accepted all of the truths they were given as fundamental truths and did not question anything. And if you think about being burnt at the stake, you're not going to question anything that the Roman Catholic Church forces down your throat, because you know that questioning that is, you might actually die or be burnt at the stake. So That is why this new age of information, and it's not so new anymore, but it's how we decide to use all of the information that we have at our fingertips to amend and evolve with the knowledge that we keep gaining about people, about humanity. We are responsible for everything in our lives, both our best and our worst. Simply put, only we have power over ourselves, and then we blame others for our situations and we give our power over to them. The first thing we have to learn is how to be in harmony, how to find that inner peace, because it's there inside each and every one of us, and how to balance our lives so that we will reflect this in our lives and the energy that we send out, and so that we can draw to us the greatness that we deserve, because the universe supports everything we believe, and our brain accepts everything we tell it as fact. It doesn't have a sense of humor. So what do you choose to believe? Everyone is always helpful, or everyone's always out to get me? The universal power, God, Goddess, all that is, Buddha, God's spark, Allah, whatever you believe its name is, never judges us or criticizes our thoughts, but only accepts us the way we value ourselves. It reflects what we believe to be true in every way. If you have a belief that you want to rid yourself of, only you can change that belief, and the universe will then support that change. A beautiful affirmation to end off with today from Louise Hay is, love is everywhere. I am loving and lovable. Now folks, remember, 4 agreements, 5 Reiki principles. Make sure what you believe and what is true for you is for your highest and greatest good.